page from your life where we bring to you real people with real stories, sharing real experiences. आज के हमारे जो guest है, he's a special guest. He's not just an artist. He is an artist who's chosen skin as his canvas. Somebody who is doing his bit to make something permanent in this temporary world. We're going to talk a lot about, in this episode, we're going to talk a lot about his art, his life, and we are going to bring to you raw, chaotic conversations. So please welcome Shobit. Hi Shobit. Thank you for doing this. I wasn't sure that you would agree to it, but thank you so much for doing this. So, because I am not going to introduce in detail kya hai, kya nahi hai, the floor is yours. Please tell us about yourself.
Okay, I'm Shobit and I've been tattooing for over 10 years now, and I've been a painter professionally for more than 15 years I guess, but I've been a painter all my life. Like I started very early and I sort of found my way to express, and I chose painting and visual art as the medium, and I've always been very non-expressive kind of guy, reserved. That's how artists usually are, and so it's kind of true also to an extent. So yeah, I live in Noida. I stayed in Noida for all my life, and I did travel across at one point to different parts of the country, and yeah, it's been a journey.
You covered my question. I was going to ask you how did art come into your life? So you said you have been like painting has been your choice of medium, jahan pe your expressions and emotions came alive.
Yeah.
When was it? Like, what was your earliest memory of you picking up pencil ya jo bhi and coloring ya drawing ya something? Do you have a memory of that?
So the earliest dated evidence for that thing is a painting that I signed in 2002. 2002 was my earliest painting. It was a portrait, and I don't recall like as a child painting that, but my parents somehow sort of kept that painting, and I looked at it and I was like, wow, this was 2002. So I think.
And how old were you then?
I'm 91 born, so I would have been 11 years old, I guess. But I do know that I started way earlier. I used to enjoy drawing. I used to enjoy painting, and yeah, it was. I would have been say 7 or 8 years old when I remember that. Okay, I was playing with colors and all of that.
And for painting से tattooing में, how did that transition?
So that is a long route. I'll try to cut it short as much as possible. But so I enjoyed painting in 8th standard. Like I had a fairly good teacher for art in my school. So I switched my school in 8th standard. I went from one horrible school to a fairly okay school. No, not a horrible school, but fairly okay school. Like for me, it was a huge shift, because this one school has a whole history anyway. But the other school, I met my first teacher who taught me how to paint with oils, and I was introduced to oils as a medium. The other one introduced me to a bunch of mediums like pastels and everything, but he was also a really good teacher. He sort of honed my skills, I would say, as an artist. He gave me a direction, but in 8th standard it completely shifted from playing with just some things to something serious, as serious as oil paints. Oil paints have a history of thousands of years, I guess. People painting with oil. So she introduced me, and that's how I actually got into it, and 8th through 10th standard I was experimenting with oil paints and art in general. And 10th you have to make that decision, the life-changing decision, that what do you want to do with your life now. And I was equally interested, I would say, in computers as I was in art. So computers also for me was different because I switched schools. So I found this school had better equipment or a better teacher, I would say, for computers. So my interests were sort of divided at that point, and my father is has always been a very chill guy, so he never asked me to matlab jahan pe people parents tell their kids that yeah, this is what
या
you
तो
should do.
डॉक्टर बनो या तो इंजीनियर बनो, बीच में
I
कुछ
was the
नहीं है.
one who chose engineering. I said, Papa, I want to become an engineer. So that's something that I had decided already in 10th standard, and I chose science as a stream to move forward with computers as a center of it. But when I went to 11th standard and I saw physics, mathematics, everything, that's where I was like, बहुत ज़्यादा है. तो but there from 11th to 12th, those 2 years art took a back seat basically, and then I got into an engineering college. It was horrible college. I took 1 month to decide कि I'm not doing this, and then 1 more month to tell my parents that I'm not doing this. So yeah, first in 2 months I was out of that engineering college, and I was then doing a bunch of things, and then sometime later I picked it back up, the painting.
And then how did that transition into tattoos? The painting to kar rahe the. How did you decide that you wanted to learn how to make tattoos and stuff?
So for paintings, there's another interesting story. When I somehow got into the best college for computers in NCR, I would say, one of the best colleges for computers. And there also I thought ki nahi ho pa raha hai. This is they teach you very outdated systems, and I for like my love for computers, I studied C language in 9th standard. वो 9th का जो break होता है उसी में I studied computers. I studied C language. Then college में it was, I think, year and a half. First year I was very good, sort of. I cleared all my exams, not with flying colors, but with fairly good grades. Second year I thought it's too much, and I used to sit in the class and draw. And that's when one also like a good story comes, where this one particular professor, he was after my life. So he used to say, and it was a Jat college, and Jats they have a very good sense of humor, I would say, about everything. So he would make remarks like, बेटा तुम्हारी ना RAM कम है, तुम ना अपनी RAM बढ़वा लो. Then he would say, processor तो तुम्हारा गया ही हुआ है. And that teacher is one of my biggest supporters right now, because he goes and comments on each and every tattoo that I make. He leaves beautiful comments around, and he also pushed me, I guess, in his own way. And there were a bunch of other professors who sort of gave me, like who I participated in painting competitions from the college, inter-college and inter-school, inter-college painting competitions, and inside the school also. The college, I would participate in all these competitions. So that's where it sort of reignited my love for art and everything. And then one of my friends gave me the first commissioned order, and I was like, इससे पैसा बन सकता है. I can do this.
मैं अपना मालिक बनूंगा.
So that's how it sort of started in the college. In this third semester, I started painting professionally. Then from that moment on, it became my journey as an artist started. And then I participated in a few exhibitions also. I did all of that. And tattoos was much later, I guess. After I left the college, and I was because establishing yourself as a painter, as a full-time painter, is a difficult task. So I thought I need one income stream that sort of generates me that money to sort of continue this as a profession. So that's when tattooing came into the picture, because few of my friends, they were asking me to design tattoos for them, design just play around with the ideas that they were sort of wanting to get. And that's when I realized that tattoos are not just tribal tattoos, आपके body पे ऐसी which you put and the names and the and मेले वाले tattoos वाला scene नहीं है. Outside India, the culture was already sort of exploding. This was 2015, so outside India, a lot was happening other than the traditional tattoos that you would see, and I saw it as an art form basically, and that's when I decided to sort of look into it, and then I found a good teacher, and that's how it started.
And how did your parents react to it?
My parents, so me already leaving engineering, then BCA I was pursuing still, and I was not doing much into it. मतलब placement का तो कुछ था ही नहीं. Then so they were very supportive of my career choice as an artist. But the moment I told my father that I want to become a tattoo artist, and at that time I found a really nice teacher, and he said that the fees was 1.3 lakhs. So my parents, already having invested so much money into my studies, my father was naturally skeptical. Now he's just not making sense. For engineering, then BCA, then this and that, and he was not sure if I was even serious about it. Fair on his part. So one comment that he made was Palika was very famous and notoriously famous for tattoos. So he said that 500 रुपए में पालिका में बैठ के तू टैटू बनाएगा. यही इसी दिन के लिए पैदा किया था तुझे. I was like, हाँ ठीक है, बोल तो सही रहे हो. But this is what I want to do, and I was also like, I had to sort of do something. I saw the potential in India, because everything that is happening in the West eventually comes to India and explodes. So I saw that potential, and I said, I am doing this with or without your support. And the next teacher that I found was my mentor that I learned from, Ali Vardi. He had a studio in GK at that point, and he told me that the fees is this, which was sort of in my budget. And I told my father, wrongfully so, that I have raised half the amount, so I'm just asking you for half the amount now. So please give it to me. Took me 6 months to convince him, but he came around, and he saw the dedication that I was trying to sort of. I didn't buy a machine and started learning learning it on my own, because like you said, you are doing it on somebody's skin, and that comes with a set of responsibilities. So being a responsible artist, I sort of thought that I'll have to go to him to study everything else that comes around along with the art. So yeah, that's how it sort of began.
And what is your father's mindset अभी? Has that changed? क्या अभी भी कभी-कभार ताने मारते हैं?
ताने तो नहीं मारते हैं, मतलब he's pretty much happy with the. So for parents, the only thing that they want for their child is that they sort of are capable enough to lead your life and live your life in a way that you are comfortable with. I am blessed to have a father like I always have, that he just wants this, and other things he just sort of.
आई थिंक मतलब वो हर पेरेंट्स के साथ होता है, दे वांट कि उनके बच्चे खुश रहे एंड यू नो लाइक दे आर एबल टू सस्टेन. एंड आई फील कहीं ना कहीं इंडियन पेरेंट्स का ये होता है कि हम नहीं रहे तो एटलीस्ट हमारा बच्चा बच्ची केपेबल होनी चाहिए कि दे कैन लिव देयर लाइफ, यू नो. एंड अ लॉट ऑफ इट ऑल्सो कम्स फ्रॉम लोग क्या कहेंगे. सो स्टार्टिंग में, हाँ स्टार्टिंग में आई थिंक बहुत ज्यादा ना जब रेजिस्टेंस होता है तब उनका ये चीज होता है, लोग क्या कहेंगे. एंड आई डोंट नो इफ I mean, you've faced this or not, but then people have this mindset पहले. अभी I think it has gone a bit. पर लोगों का ये mindset होता है कि जिसके tattoos होते हैं, you know, वो मतलब they kind of equate tattoos with character. कि इसके बहुत tattoos है मतलब ना इसका character थोड़ा ढीला है and ऐसे ऐसे करके. So like I didn't know कि इतना extreme होता है. Like my father did not want me to get a tattoo done and उनका थोड़ा ये था हाँ यार कर ले whatever it is, like he just didn't want me to regret. I feel कि मुझे ये करना था आपने नहीं करने दिया. But I didn't know लोगों का इतने inhibitions होते हैं in terms of tattoos until and unless I reached at that point and I'm like अच्छा, like people telling me on their face अरे तू इतने सारे tattoos करवाती है लोग क्या सोचेंगे. And I'm like लोग क्या सोचेंगे. And then a couple of people told me like what, like you know like my mom said कि नहीं करवाओ because फिर लड़का नहीं मिलेगा, लोग सोचेंगे तुम बिगड़ी हुई लड़की हो, ऐसी हो वैसी हो. सो आई थिंक इसलिए भी मे बी आई मीन आई डोंट नो, मे बी एवरीबडी हैज दिस माइंडसेट लाइक you think that was something that your dad had where he was like you ये करना है वैसा कुछ करके. Was it that stereotype about tattoos or just in general he just felt like ये मतलब this is a phase और कल को आके बोलेगा मेरा बेटा ये भी नहीं करना मुझे, अभी मुझे कुछ और करना है.
It was mostly the latter part because my father is has been a non-judgmental kind of guy. He has let me do and let my sisters also do whatever they wanted to do basically in life, and he's never said that अच्छा यही करो वो ही करो. So he came from a clean space only like that, so he never had his inhibitions about the tattoos. But yeah, I've seen it with other people. There's this. I was going somewhere, I don't remember where, but there was this uncle sitting right in front of me, and I had both my arms tattooed, and he was staring at me, and at one point he just said, "Beta, क्यों कराया ये?" I said, "I make tattoos. I make tattoos for a living, so they're just there. They have meaning also." Anyway, he just goes on to say that, "बेटा ये नहीं करना चाहिए था आपको. मैं बताता हूँ क्यों. अब आप कल को कोई क्राइम करोगे तो मैं बता दूंगा कि उसके हाथ पे ये आई हैव अ स्पाइडर टैटूड ऑन माय हैंड, उसके हाथ पे मकड़ी का टैटू था, मैं बता दूंगा." मैंने बोला अंकल पहली बात तो कि आप कैसे बोल सकते हो कि मैं क्राइम करूंगी.
The fact that we went there, I have questions about the uncle now.
So it's mostly yeah, people have different sort of mindset about people with tattoos, but that is changing, and that has changed a lot in the last 10 years. Where when I started out, there were mostly people in their 20s who were getting tattoos, but now I think the oldest person that I've tattooed is my 85-year-old Bua.
Wow.
So the mindset has shifted. Everything else, I think only in government jobs they don't allow you to have tattooed. And army also, for selection you don't, but I have tattooed people from the army after they have got selected in sort of hidden spaces. And the whole what do you say, stigma around tattoos has sort of reduced to a great deal, especially in the urban cities.
For somebody, like you said that you had a teacher, you had a mentor, जिसके वहाँ जाके you took training. For somebody who wants to start out as a tattoo artist or somebody who wants to become a tattoo artist, how can they go about with these things? And before that, सबसे पहले तो क्या skill चाहिए होगी कि कोई तो ऐसे उठ के, I mean, कुछ तो होना पड़ेगा ना, basic skills for somebody to want to be a tattoo artist.
Yeah, you have to have I, first and foremost is the inclination towards the artistic side of things, artistic bent of mind. That is very important. Your interest is paramount, I guess. This is not something that you would get into just for the heck of it, because you see the industry growing, you see certain aspects of tattooing and you want to get into it. That shouldn't happen. Skills wise, I was of the opinion that you need basic drawing skills to get into it, but that part also broke when I sort of one of my apprentices, he came from no background of tattoo art. He said that I don't have any experience, I don't know how to draw anything basically. And I was skeptical about it in the beginning, but when I saw his sort of dedication, and he practiced for hours and hours, and where he sort of reached just by the interest of it, that's when my sort of the idea broke that you need some kind of skills to get into tattooing. Beforehand, you don't need it, you just need proper interest. With that, you can go, you can become an artist, whatever it is, and that broke a lot of my ideas actually. That was in itself a beautiful experience. But yes, it helps if you've drawn for a while, if you have a sort of background also. A lot of artists right now are tattoo artists are coming from design background, graphic designing background, fine art background. They are getting into that field. That's how the whole industry is evolving right now. So yes, it helps, but it's not a requirement as such, I would say.
Okay. And like, I'm guessing degree जैसा तो कुछ होगा नहीं ना. Like for me, if I'm going to somebody to get a tattoo done, like how can I there's no surety. मुझे नहीं पता होगा कि ये इंसान अगर tattoo artist है because they have a degree or something, or they've done a training है, वो तो कुछ नहीं होगी. But if for somebody who wants to go professionally through that part, they can approach any artist like yourself. Like somebody comes up to you and you are like, मुझे सीखना है, आप मुझे सिखाओ, and they can approach any artist and they can do that training. Or there are only selected artists who do that, and maybe they are certified to do it. I mean, how does it work?
In India, sadly, there is no certification yet. I mean, there are no government-backed certifications. You get certified from the artists, from the studios. There are tattoo training schools also, like Aliens is one of the biggest training schools in the country right now. They are training a lot of artists. But as such, government-backed organizations are not there in India. Outside India, you have to have certificates, you have to have licenses to practice the art, and that's you would only go to a licensed tattoo studio for training or all of that. But in India, it's not there yet. Maybe in some time it will be, who knows. But yes,
but they have an option. They can go to an artist and they can be like, मुझे सिखाओ. And
best thing is figure out if you have already figured out what kind of tattoos you want to do. If you want to go for realism, you should go to an artist who basically excels in that. And I would say, like, for me personally, if you don't have financial constraints, just go to the best artist that you can find. Because that will help you learn better, faster, and learn what you want to learn without all the. So you are anyways picking a skill that you want to learn. So it's not like an engineering college where you just आप IIT चले गए, ये चले गए. There also you would want to go to the best one if you have the capability. So coming back to it, if you want to do color tattoos, you go to the artist who sort of specializes in that. If you want to do geometric work, like my teacher excels in geometric tattoos and line works. He has a solid understanding about line work. So I went to him, and that way you just make sure that you sort of get the best out of your time. Time is of essence. You learn, you invest your time in something. Money is, I guess, secondary. I mean, for some people it could be the primary concern, but you are investing your time. So use that well.
Take your time, like 1 साल 2 साल जो भी है, जितना भी है, learn as much as you can, and then you can move ahead and maybe get a job. Like job scope, I'm guessing you could either work under an artist or you can start your own studio. And in general, scope काफी है.
But I would say work for at least 3 to 5 years. I would say at a studio, at a round studio, at a good place, because out of like you spend your time, say 1 year. 6 months, usually people say, but it would take you at least 1 year to sort of get to a point where you are making good tattoos. So right after that, don't open the studio. You will open a can of worms that you can't sort of contain. Work at a studio, learn the art, learn the process, learn how it all works, and then only open a studio. Right now, a lot of people are just coming out of these aliens tattoos and all these schools and just outright opening studios, and that is not something that you want to do. You just understand the art, understand everything about it, then only.
Maybe also the scenario, मतलब कैसे इंडिया में work करता है कि किस तरीके का क्या, what is the demand, maybe I would say. I mean that is also something that one would need to understand कि और फिर कोई skills develop करनी है तो वो कर सकते हैं.
Yeah, demand is there. India is populated.
But India मतलब evolve कर रहा है. Like so I got my first tattoo done in 2009. So उसके पहले my entire knowledge, I mean my whatever limited information I had was कि tattoos तो सिर्फ गोवा में ही होते हैं. Like और कहीं पे tattoos हो ही नहीं सकता. And like that's the fact. And 2009 में I walked into a studio. I was like नहीं मुझे tattoo करवाना है. I walked into the studio. I had no idea मुझे क्या करना है. I just went there and I was like भैया tattoo करवाना है. And you don't know how it works. Like वो पहले ऐसा होता था कि वो ये 2x2 के स्क्वायर में ही हम आपको डिजाइन बना के देंगे. And he had this booklet. Literally gave me that booklet. He's like इसको देखो and आपको जो डिजाइन चाहिए वो मैं आपको बना के दूंगा, आप स्पेस बता दो. That and now how things are, it's so मतलब like इतना change हो गया है, इतना evolve हो गया है. And that for me in itself is like I never imagined कि I would see people in India getting their necks पूरा done and their faces done and all of it. I thought it was all Lil Wayne. It's all Western, but I've started seeing that in India. And when I think about how it was, like he literally gave me a book. He's like ये designs है, फूल पत्ते हार्ट बटरफ्लाई इसमें से पिक करो, आपको जो करना है. आप लड़का हो लड़की हो कोई मैटर नहीं करता. या तो वही वो ओम या करवा लो या लोग अपना नाम लिखवा देते हैं, which I don't know why, but I mean उनको गजनी वाली सिंड्रोम है. But then इतना ज्यादा नहीं था, तो I feel कि वो भी evolve होता रहता है ना. Like now there is a trend now. Everybody is like, what I've seen is everybody does these patterns of phoenix and all of it. Like that's what you keep seeing overall. So you also need to, I think, develop more skills जहाँ पे आप फिर वो सारी designs भी कर सकते हो rather than just copy pasting also. Yeah, AI पे rely करना also, no?
Yeah, that's what the industry. So that's what I got into it for, no? Because I saw potential of me sort of expressing myself as an artist also, because I would just not being an artist first, then a tattoo artist. I wanted to do things. I wanted to like make designs that nobody else sort of does. Not just out of the idea of being unique, but there are things that I want to do as an artist. And first of all, it is difficult to find people to do that on, because people usually want I can't tell you how many times I've done those 3 flying birds on the collarbone. Insane amount of tattoos like that in the first few years of my career. But now the market is changing, like you said, the demands are changing, and people are seeing new kind of work, and they जो दिखता है वो बिकता है at the end of the day. So they see Virat Kohli sort of getting his full arm covered, and they want that. So that's how the industry is evolving right now in India, because people are seeing more tattoos. So it is sort of.
And you as an artist, you have to keep up, वरना आप पीछे छूट जाओगे.
Yeah, you have to evolve as an artist. You have to constantly evolve.
What would you say is the biggest challenge as a tattoo artist that people don't really talk about?
Biggest challenge is it's mostly I would say in Noida it's mostly around the pricing, because people don't understand how pricing works. I don't think I don't know if it was a smart move or a dumb move, but when I started out, it was I didn't understand like you said also, square inches. I thought it doesn't make sense at all, because 2 by 2 square inches, it's just this big. It could be just a triangle. And if I say that, I charge 1,000 rupees per hour, per square inch, then that becomes 2 by 2, 4,000 for a triangle. Now somebody says, I want a portrait in that 2 by 2. That's also 4,000. So how does it make sense to sort of just make a line and a detailed tattoo in that 4 square inches? So that pricing was sort of, I couldn't understand that. And when I the good thing that happened was I was exposed to a lot of people who are sort of the industry leaders outside India. There was this tattoo festival, Hard Work Tattoo Festival, that I attended, and I sort of got the opportunity through my mentor to sort of assist Amitabh Bachchan of the industry. It was Paul Booth, and we saw him work, we saw him make tattoos, the kind of crazy guy that he is, crazy in a good way. So he charges, at that point, 10 years ago, he was charging 35,000 per hour, which is a lot. For those days, but him being Amitabh Bachchan of the industry is obviously justified. People, he is booked for years. You want to get an appointment from him, you would have to literally wait for years before your turn comes. But that's when I realized that, okay, this makes more sense, charging per hour. If I am able to do that triangle in say 15 minutes, then I set my pricing as 7,000 rupees per hour I would charge. So that is 15 minutes. So that translates to just a few thousand rupees. Okay, and if I'm putting an hour in a portrait or 2 hours in a portrait, I'm charging 14,000. That sort of justifies your time. And as an artist, it's all about the time that we put into something. So that made sense. I tried telling that to people, and the responses that I would get was, number one, we have not heard this way of pricing. It's always square inches. So I said, yes, but I am saving you the amount in some way, or I'm valuing my time in the other spectrum. But they said, what if you take more than 1 hour to
धीरे-धीरे अगर जानबूझ के कर रहे हो, how would I know? I had the same doubt.
So yeah, I mean, yes, but you have a valid point. But if I am an artist, but I will be authentic as much as possible. I would try to finish it on time, because I have other appointments also for the day. So I would not spend 3 hours on your tattoo when I can just give that time to somebody else. That's how I thought. But yeah, it's difficult to explain to people.
So I feel like जो regularly tattoo करवाते हैं उनके लिए it becomes very important that they develop that trust कि this is the person जिस पे I trust, I can trust my body and I'm like हाँ तुम बनाओ tattoo. And जब वो trust build हो जाता है ना, then you charge 2,000 rupees or you charge 20,000 rupees, that person will not complain.
Absolutely.
So जो रेगुलर टैटूज बनाता है उनको वो अंडरस्टैंडिंग होती है कि टैटू आर्टिस्ट का कैसे चलता है, प्राइसिंग एंड ऑल ऑफ इट, एंड दे डोंट रियली कंप्लेन बिकॉज दे आर अंडरस्टैंडिंग व्हाट दे आर गेटिंग. फॉर पीपल हु आर डूइंग इट न्यू, उनका ये चीज होता है मेरे को तो एक ही बार करके निकलना है ना, मतलब लाइक वो ट्रस्ट बिल्डिंग नहीं आती है वहां पे, और फिर ये ऐसे क्वेश्चंस आ जाते हैं कि जानबूझ के धीरे धीरे कर रहे होंगे तो. I feel there are also a lot of fears. I mean, like in general, there's so much stigma around tattoos कि मतलब आपका स्किन बिगड़ जाएगा, आपको ये हो जाएगा, घूम फिर के हर चीज में कैंसर घुस जाती है कि आप टैटूज कराओगे तो आपको कैंसर हो जाएगा. I mean, cancer is everywhere. तो I feel वो भी सारी मतलब बहुत सारी चीजें आती है, and then you're like मैं वैसी I'm risking my life, I'm going to get cancer, मैं थोड़ा सस्ता ही करवा दूँ. वो भी होता है I feel. I have a very important question, and before I'll ask the question and then I'll justify why I'm asking this question. Have you ever faced difficulty in terms of maybe getting a house on rent or getting a loan, or you know maybe you feel like वो trust building का दिक्कत हो रहा है when you tell people that you are an artist or you have a tattoo artist studio? And I'll tell you why I'm asking this is because I was working in an NGO, and for a very long time, because I was working in an NGO, मुझे कोई भी बैंक लोन नहीं देता था. I've tried going house hunting and they would not. So because उनका वही अच्छा मैडम आप क्या कर रहे हो, अच्छा आप NGO में काम, सॉरी नहीं देंगे. You know, it has to be a corporate job or a government job. So I felt like, you know, my profession was not taken seriously. I went to get a scooty. I wanted to buy a scooty. And वो दुकान वाले ने मेरे को दफा कर दिया. He's like, नहीं मैडम नहीं होगा. Because also working as an NGO, I was not earning much. So I needed a loan for a scooty also. So I was basically just asking him. बैंक वाला भी नहीं, दुकान वाला. He's like, madam please नहीं हो पाएगा. And then he asked me to walk away from the store. So have you also faced like you know ऐसे extreme reactions लोगों से या फिर ऐसे कोई?
I mean, with banks, yes, of course, they sort of refuse you. If you're, I think, if you're just self-employed, once you mention that category, you're already sort of rejected. So, yes, at times I've had that difficulty, but sometimes I got also little amounts I got as a loan whenever I required. So I've not faced it to a point where it sort of pinched me, but yes, the banks are biased towards corporate working people.
Like I have to always put somebody, like मेरे साथ हमेशा there has to be a co-applicant, like मेरे को अपने से नहीं मिलेगा, and that like I was so furious. You just feel like you any which ways you feel like you have to do so much to kind of prove yourself कि you know like आप क्या कर रहे हो क्या नहीं कर रहे हो, and then for somebody to just diminish कि तुम रद्दी बराबर टाइप्स ना, इट जस्ट फील्स बहुत ज्यादा इंसल्टिंग हो जाता है.
But I mean, luckily I would say I know it's a huge problem for it could be a huge problem when you actually want a loan for some financial emergency or in your crucial time and you're not denied the loan even when you know that you're capable of paying it off. So yeah, I mean it could be a big problem, but luckily I was not in that situation where I was I struggled to get that amount or anything like that. And plus for renting, like my landlords who have sort of wherever I've opened up the studios, also they were also like pretty much good people I've stumbled upon. I'm not somebody crazy who would just sort of have that bias against tattoo artists.
Apart from the uncle that you said, have you had any extreme story जहाँ पे किसी का बहुत ज़्यादा bias था and it got very ugly?
Not really. Mostly what I've experienced is people are curious. people have been curious, and plus I've been mostly in those situations also where I've been sort of protected, I would say, because I was in Bangalore and I had the best time in Bangalore because Bangalore is progressive. So I stayed there for a while, and I did my best tattoos, I would say, in Bangalore. It was a really good experience, and I was telling you that I've traveled across the country. So I was traveling from 2017 to 2019. I was mostly traveling across the country, backpacks and all that, and I would get stopped at airports asking the officials asking, what is this, what is this machine, turn it on. And I had I have a beard, but back then I had dreadlocks and I was dressed like a hippie. So I would be judged at some points, but mostly in a good way only. I would just talk to them and they would be like, "Acha, theek hai." He's not somebody to sort of question so much. And it turned into a good experience only. Like the airport official asking me what do the tattoos cost, and if I want one, do you have a card with you? And all of that's mostly good experiences only across the country, I would say.
Do you remember your first tattoo?
That I got, or
No,
that I did?
You did.
I did. I being an artist already, and with all that experience, I was like, mostly what people would do through the part of the process, the training is that you tattoo yourself, and I sort of skipped that part. Number one. Number two, I convinced my friend. So you have to convince your friend as a lab rat. You say that, "Acha, I'm going to make this tattoo for you," and they have to sort of agree to it. And one of my friends, luckily, he agreed for a full forearm.
Wow.
So my first tattoo was full forearm.
Amazing.
That to a portrait in the middle. There were 6 or 7 little pieces around a portrait, and he agreed for that. And it turned out well, but I thought, like that was my first tattoo, so I didn't know how much time it is going to take. So it took around, I guess, 20 hours in total, spread across 3 sessions. So he didn't know that that's the kind of commitment he's getting into, but
He still has it.
He still has it. He still likes it. Once or twice, so his family sort of made it difficult for him, but now he's
okay, he's chill.
Yeah.
And apart from this, has there been any tattoo जो इससे भी लंबा गया है, more than 20 hours?
I have done 46 hour session. One was 46 hour session where I did 12 small tattoos, and back then, so right now I have printer to print the stencils. I have a digital medium like Photoshop and Procreate on, that's what we design on. Back then we used to do everything on paper with hands. So the designing used to take a lot of time. The stenciling used to take a lot of time, and I made a commitment. I was in this sort of an ashram where I was making trishuls for everybody. So it was one tattoo, but I took on another challenge that I would not repeat the design. I would make every one of those 12 tattoos different. So that's how it became 46 hours. And it was 12 trishuls and one fairly big piece on the arm. So I slept for 2-3 hours. It was in Bangalore in a remote place, but I did find some Red Bulls to sort of power me through that entire so the whole 44 hours.
Did Red Bulls work? कि उससे भी कुछ hard चाहिए था, इसलिए Red Bull अभी काम नहीं कर रहा है.
It was an ashram, so I could not have anything else. Red Bull and Snickers. That's what I sort of functioned on.
Nice.
Because the moment you eat, first it goes into digestion, the energy. So I needed all the energy that I could squeeze out of me.
You said Photoshop and Procreate, right? I mean, these are also skills अगर किसी को करना होगा, I mean, like they'll have to maybe pick on these as well.
Yeah.
If you want to get into this field.
Yeah. Now it's necessary, because back then we used to do everything by hand and we used to enjoy doing that. But now you sort of have to.
Do you feel कि AI थोड़ा बिगाड़ देगा ये scene को? I mean, like people would not want to learn all of this and they would feel like अब तो AI को बोल देंगे, design कर देंगे and then I'll do it.
I guess.
Do you see maybe that happening or?
That will happen. That is bound to happen, because AI से पहले Pinterest था. So anyway, people are just copy pasting designs off of Pinterest. Now AI gives you that little edge to sort of be original also. So once you learn the tool, and I don't have any biases against that also, because if you are coming up with designs, now one part is solved. You get a new sort of unique design through AI. Now you have to translate into a tattoo. So if you are able to do that well, then I don't see any harm in it, because I was at one point very traditional, rigid guy who used to stick by the rules and who would try to do everything traditionally. But that, number one, if that pays well, then I could do it. But I mean, at the same time, if it's sort of reducing one part of the job, because the next part is you have to make that tattoo as well. So if you're doing that well and you are sort of skipping ahead on this part, what's the harm? I don't think AI is sort of I mean, there are robots now who are tattooing also. So if they take up our job, then I would be biased towards the robot, but I won't blame the AI.
Okay, fair enough. You must have done a lot of tattoos in this past 10 years. Like, कोई ऐसा tattoo है या client है that you like, you know, that still sits with you and you कभी कभार you still think about it, like had a very lasting impact on you. Maybe that tattoo design, it could be that tattoo design or it could be that client, because like I'm sure if you are doing tattoos, मतलब बातचीत तो हो रही होगी ना. I remember you telling me कि you used to have consultations लंबे also before while you used to design tattoos. So is there any tattoo or a client that still like you always go back to, or you know they've had a huge impact on you?
There have been I think many tattoos like that, but one that I could think of is somebody recently got divorced and they were sort of very moved by it, and he got his daughter and wife's face tattooed on his chest regardless of the divorce, and he cried through the whole session also. It became very emotional and moving at that point, because he just sort of.
I mean, very brave of him to do it. The daughter I can understand, but the wife, very brave of him to do it.
And I had seen him in that whole relationship also, and like he was sort of there. So yeah.
If I mean, for tattoos to go wrong, हो सकता है. Like you hear a lot कि पस निकल जाता है, ये होता है, वो होता है. So what is the worst thing that can happen for a tattoo? मतलब like how worst can it go?
It can go, if it goes, it can go very worse.
मतलब काफी ऐसा होता है कि लोग tattoos करवाते हैं and it goes bad. Like आपको या तो skin infection हो जाता है, irritation, पस या वैसे. What is the worst that can happen on a bad tattoo?
Worst is that amputation, if that ever comes to that. But you would get early signs. To prevent anything bad from happening, number one is just make sure that you follow the artist's instructions. You go to different studios, sometimes some artists would say something else, someone would say something else. But whatever they are saying, just follow it, because sometimes what happens is the kind of work they do, the kind of machines they use, the kind of equipment they use, and everything else they would have different instructions for you, and the kind of tattoo, the size of it also matters. So just follow those instructions and you'll be safe. Nothing.
इंक्स और ये सब भी अलग होते हैं, like do you have like different brands and everything, और वो सारा constant रहता है?
Different brands are obviously there, but there would be, I would say, just 5, I think, the top brands that they will be sort of using. If you're going to a reputed studio, they'll be using just 5 to 7 brands. And those are all sort of cruelty-free, vegan inks and all of that. Most of the people who are serious about their art would be using the best kind of inks because we don't want anything to happen. Sometimes if you go to a sort of subpar tattoo studio, they would... Palika, of course, they would be saving on inks, they would be probably mixing their inks with something harmful to the skin, all of that, but mostly like you're safe. Studio environment also matters there because if you see visible dirt inside the studio, if they're not cleaning, they're not wiping down their stations. So before you step into the studio, there are several steps that we make to ensure that nothing goes bad from our end. So studio environment is mostly properly sanitized, everything is checked, everything is covered, the ink bottles, the stuff that you wipe your tattoos with, the bottles that we touch, that is part of the training also, where we sort of are trained to not touch anything other than the things that are required to be touched, and they are covered. So all of that is sort of taken care of. But the moment you step out of the studio, you are stepping into a wild territory. All the dust, bacteria, viruses floating around in the air. So your tattoo will be covered, and the artist will instruct you that 3 hours to 24 hours you will keep that tattoo covered. But God forbid you get an infection, you'll get an early signs. First sign is if you have fever, and that is a general question also, frequently asked question. Will I get a fever after the tattoo? No, you won't. You shouldn't ideally get fever. Fever is sign of something bad happening to your body. It's your body's response towards a foreign object. Ink is a foreign object inside your skin, so the body will try to reject it. So sometimes for some people, like it's different for everybody. Sometimes you might get a mild fever also, but that is not generally a healthy sign. If you get a fever, if you see that your skin is visibly red after say 24 hours of you getting tattooed, if the swelling is not going away, if you say pus is generally after 3 days, it starts developing, and if you see any signs like that, then that is a big sign of you sort of go to a dermat. Check with your artist. Artists would also be able to tell you that acha theek hai, now you need some kind of a topical ointment to put, because some kind of bacteria or virus has infected that area. But just sort of stay in touch. Like I make a tattoo, I make sure that part of the aftercare instructions is just keep in touch after 4-5 days. Send me a picture if you can, and look for these signs and just follow the aftercare instructions. You're safe. But the worst could happen due to negligence, I would say. Otherwise, it's pretty safe to get a tattoo. It's just a scratch. We're just scratching your skin and putting some ink on it.
What about sensitive areas, मतलब जैसे neck हो गया या spinal cord पे या वैसे कर रहे हैं, I mean उससे injuries के chances होते हैं, और have you heard of this? It could not be like maybe in your circle, India में या बाहर की extreme ऐसा किसी का paralysis or something just because the tattooing was not done well.
Not that I've heard of. I've not heard of these stories firsthand, I would say. I mean, and it's difficult also because sometimes people think that wrist is sort of, you can see the veins. And the question is ki, is there a chance that you could puncture the vein? No, you cannot, because that is also part of the training. Tattoos sit on your dermis. The epidermis is very thin. We scratch that off, we put the ink inside the dermis, and we are very careful about it. So the veins are way deep inside the skin ka layers, and the body ka anatomy is such that it's very difficult to puncture a vein and sort of blood spewing out in all the directions. So that doesn't happen. But yeah, I've not heard of any such fatal stories. AIDS, hepatitis, bloodborne diseases, those are chances. There are chances for you to get contract all those diseases if the space is not hygienic enough, and needles are not being changed, stuff like that. But most of the studios, like, they would show you this is a fresh needle, this is sterilized. They would open a pack right in front of you, and sometimes show you also. I don't do that because mostly
some studios give it off as well. Like, I have gotten a tattoo done जहाँ पे उन्होंने वो जो सुई that they use, they gave me after they were done. ले जाओ madam, take it. So I mean, yeah, people go to that extreme as well.
That's actually nice. Yeah, that's the ultimate way of showing that this is for you.
हाँ, ये आपका माफ लगाइए फ्रेम करके टैटू बॉडी पे नीडल फ्रेम पे.
I got a fracture, so I got the rod that they removed as a souvenir.
Do you have it framed?
No, I threw it away.
So, do you have any client story that you would like to share?
Client story, yeah. So one funny story that happened was a client walks in. She was sort of African American, and she just walks in, sneaks in, sort of looking very sketchy, and she says that I want to get my face tattooed, and I have a policy that if it's a mole, if it's something like, if it sort of makes sense, I would do it, but I have a policy of not tattooing faces. She says that I want my face tattooed. I said, okay, what do you want to get? She said that I want my face entirely covered so that I'm not recognizable. I have a flight to US, and I want my face entirely covered so that I am not recognizable at all. I froze in that moment. I just literally froze, and I didn't know how to respond to that. So I collect myself and I say, "Acha, what did you do?" She said that, "Can you do it or not?" I said, I can't. I would have to really understand the context for me to begin to answer your questions and to begin to sort of get to a point where I am considering this. Otherwise, it's a no. It's a big, huge no. And she said, no, I just want my face covered, and you just do it. And she couldn't continue it long enough. It was a setup made by my sister. That was a friend who came, and she goes like, she was very disappointed. She said, you walked in way too early. I would have let him go at the point where he was already setting up the station and everything. I wanted to get to that point.
But would you have done it like station? Like, what answer did she give जिसमें you would be like, हाँ चलो ठीक है बहन कर देता हूँ मैं.
Nothing, with the kind of the conversation where it was going. She wanted to go through customs undetected. So in that situation,
criminal मैं भी बनूंगा, तुम criminal मुझे बना के रहोगे.
No. Mostly, if she would have offered me a crazy amount of money, I would have considered it. But big wad of cash.
Suitcase भर के ये लो पकड़ो करो.
No. Still, I would sort of customs and all of that. No.
Have you had someone who was getting a tattoo done and बहुत ज़्यादा pain feel हुआ and they're like नहीं हो पाएगा and बीच में ही उठ के चले गए?
Only once, and that was also after the tattoo was sort of 90 to 95% done. Is when he said that "Acha, I can't bear the pain anymore," and it's usually with men. Men have a lower pain tolerance when it comes to tattoos than women because women
Get vaccine done. मैं वही बोलने वाली थी because we get
laser,
vaccine done. हाँ, we are used to all of this.
So men have generally a lower pain tolerance. Broken bones, like I can vouch for myself also. I've had many broken bones, but that is a different pain. But as a tattoo artist also, when I get tattooed, I scream sometimes. I have screamed.
So yeah, difficult to imagine. But then did they get that tattoo done? पूरा कि वो आधा का वैसे
He never came back. He left. He said that I'm coming the next morning. Never showed up.
You would not know if he ever got another tattoo done or not.
He never showed up. So I'm assuming that he never went for a tattoo. And that's my sister also. The only person, like, this is one, and the second person who got one tattoo and never. They said that they won't get tattooed ever again, and they stuck to it. Was my sister. Now she's after, I guess it's been 8-9 years. Now she wants another tattoo, but yeah, she's the second person.
My husband is like that. He's like, I'll never get a tattoo done because उसका ऐसा है कि my mother-in-law is like, नहीं, tattoos allowed नहीं है. तुमने करवाया तो घर से बाहर निकाल दूंगा. Irony, she has me as her daughter-in-law, but मेरे husband का ऐसा था कि I will never get a tattoo done. And he did मेरे बेटे का नाम ऐसा पूरा बड़ा सा. He's done like you've done that tattoo for him. I'm like, अरे ये तो करवा लिया ना, दूसरा भी करवा लो. And he's like, हाँ मैं सोच रहा हूँ इसको extend कराऊँ. It's like मेरा नाम लिखवा ले कहीं पे. वो नहीं करवाना. But he's also like that. He's like, नहीं, I will just get one done. I've seen very few people जो एक करवा के full stop मारते. It's always, I feel tattoos become an addiction. Like I come to you to get a tattoo done, मेरे दिमाग में और 3 already है कि अभी तो ये करवाया, अभी ये भी करवाऊंगी next.
Those are the kind of people that we want to turn.
Do you have any tattoo that you did that you absolutely love?
Yeah, there is this Van Gogh Van Gogh meets Michelangelo. Michelangelo's creation of Adam that I combined with Van Gogh's Starry Night, and that I did for a student of mine. It was sort of an experiment where I absolutely loved that tattoo, and luckily some person, I don't repeat my designs very often, and there will be that is one of the instances where I sort of repeated the design because I loved that design so much, and the client also loved it as much. So that is easily one of the best tattoos that I've made.
You've designed it from scratch as well.
Yeah, I designed most of the tattoos like that.
And do you love that? Like, do you love that creativity? कि लोग आके बोल रहे हैं कि मुझे ये बनाना है. This is my vision. Can you design it for me? Do you love that? Or do you prefer people coming and giving the design कि हाँ यही मेरे को बनाना है?
No, I got into it because of the art of it. So if they have a challenge for me, that's where it gets sort of me excited.
Exciting. सही है. That was more or less about tattoos in general. I have a fun rapid fire for you. You will not get time to think much. So, या तो one line answer, one word answer, या तो yes and no. I don't think so there are many yes and no questions. But one word answer. अगर one word justify नहीं करता है तो you can give a one line answer. But if you give a controversial answer, you are not getting any opportunity to, explain yourself. Yeah. I will stop you there and there. ठीक है?
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Hardest part of being a tattoo artist that no one talks about?
The back pain.
How do you deal with clients who says कुछ भी बना दो?
Think and come back.
Any tattoo you regretted creating?
No.
Biggest client red flag?
Smelly clients.
If you get arrested and you are now a tattoo artist in Indian jail, what name would you go by?
Pass.
You should think about this and we'll come back to this. What matters most, the concept or the execution?
Both.
We had to pick an answer, but ठीक है. Most painful spot that people underestimate?
Calf.
Calf? I thought fingers. Cover-ups, is it a nightmare or a creative challenge?
Creative challenge.
Even if it's a tattoo that you did and you have to cover it up.
That is just one client. Okay, no. You said no sentences, but that is
Just him.
just him.
One advice you would give someone before they get their first tattoo?
Hydrate.
Tattoos that will never go out of style.
Shiva.
One tattoo people should never get.
Partner's name.
What do you prefer style? I thought you were going to say butterfly just because I know how much you hate butterflies.
But still, partner's name. Most of the times, I am making that tattoo, and I am only covering it up. It becomes like I shouldn't laugh, but I laugh a little.
Do you prefer silence or conversations during your sessions?
Conversations, good conversations are always welcome.
A tattoo you would love to get if nobody judged you.
I already have those.
Which is the one जहाँ पे सबसे ज़्यादा लोग judge करते हैं? Or people give you a reaction on your body, मतलब कोई tattoo?
The spider I have. So people ask me why a spider. I say Spider-Man. बढ़िया लगता है मुझे.
Okay, I just remembered. What do you prefer, line work or shading?
Shading.
What is the most dramatic client reaction?
One of the customers was moaning across the whole session.
कितना uncomfortable हो गया. If you had to pick between you being an artist and being a tattoo artist, you could only pick one, what would it be?
Artist.
Good. Do you want to think about the jail wala? We are done with the rapid fire. Do you want to go back? क्या होगा नाम? Ink letter.
Jail ka.
I mean, with your look and everything, you could be like Musa tattoo wala. You could just with Dhurandhar ke music where you can just enter.
Tattoo Dakiyat.
Tattoo tattoo. Good one. ठीक है. I have a short game. ठीक है. So we are going to design tattoos. हमें 1 minute मिलेगा. I'm going to say a theme and हमें tattoo design करना है. You can be very creative या make the most ridiculous tattoo you can
Be
ever.
a complete child about it.
हाँ please because वरना ना मतलब like मैं तो I am horrible when it comes to drawing and stuff तो मैं अपनी बेइज्जती करवा के रहूँगी. But you'll keep time. 1 minute का time रखना होगा for every tattoo. ठीक है. The first theme is heartbreak and moon.
Heartbreak and moon.
हाँ बताना जब टाइम स्टार्ट हो. Start? Yeah, I'm not sure you might do that. टाइम हुआ नहीं हुआ बट हमारी डिजाइन ओके दैट्स ओके I'm also going to show it on the screen. I will also write love hurts.
Text me है.
But you did not ask me मेरा moon कहाँ है? Do you see my moon?
ओह क्लाउड के साइड में छोटा सा.
ये मेरा moon और मैंने stars भी बनाए.
I like yours better.
No man. But I like this. I don't know how this says love hurts. This just says crying guy, but good. Okay. Next is your favorite, butterfly and flower. मुझे टाइम 30 सेकंड कर देना चाहिए ठीक है
Yours look like a worm more than.
मुझे समझ नहीं आ रहा है कि ये हनी भी लग रहा है या पता नहीं क्या लग रहा है.
Butterfly के अंदर flower.
हाँ.
Interesting. Nice. I would use it sometime.
Please not on me, huh? I don't want butterflies ever.
You can see how bad I am at drawing flowers. But butterfly is
decent, हाँ. Butterfly अच्छा है.
See, but I suck at making flowers.
बट अगर कोई आया ऐसे टैटू बनाने के लिए क्या तुम सच में ऊपर इट सक्स लग दोगे क्या या वापस ही भेज दोगे यार जाओ दफा हो जाओ.
10 years ago I would have. I have refused tattoos like butterflies and just crazy tattoos. I've refused.
I mean, what is with butterflies, but
पता नहीं वो tattoos के अलावा मतलब I was this person also who used to sort of love gothic. I've never listened to death metal or something like that, but I mean I have enjoyed that music also a little bit, but dark grungy चीजें और rebel phrase वाला चीजें भी तो butterflies कहाँ आती है उन सब चीजों के अंदर. Look at me, all dressed in black, bearded, tattoo making, bearded guy making butterflies as tattoo. That doesn't fit with
your personality. If you had to design a tattoo for chai lovers. ये ज्यादा सोचना नहीं होता. हम 30 seconds का टाइमर रखेंगे प्लीज. Time's up. I will just write this thing. Please, you go first. But I would prefer garam chai के साथ Maggi. I mean that combo works. You're not a chai lover ना, तुम नहीं समझोगे रमेश बाबू. गरम चाय और मैगी. But I love this. This is cool. I don't judge, okay? I will put chai. I will tell you why, because मैं ना every time I go to Assam मैं अपने लिए चाय पत्ती लेके आती हूँ. मेरे घर जो भी आता है ना, मेरी maid, मेरी पार्लर वाली, everybody they love the chai so much कि now I have to get packets for them also. And उनको बस वो ही पैकेट ही चाहिए. Like I cannot झूठ मूठ का कोई और पैकेट नहीं दे सकती. They want that packet only.
The मतलब I realized it pretty late in my life that the chai we are drinking is shit.
हाँ, तो मैं चाय का पैकेट ही बना दूंगी. Last is tattoo that screams bad decision.
Okay, I'll take.
I would also tell you to draw कहाँ पे होगा, मतलब क्योंकि you know कौन सी लोकेशन पे होगा, पोजीशन पे होगा ये बॉडी में. I mean please एक पोर्ट्रेट भी बना के then put that tattoo.
Okay, I have the best for you. ये थोड़ा सा हो जाएगा controversial.
हाँ, मेरे पास भी वैसा ही है.
I hope we don't come up with the same tattoo.
My pen is too big for this, but feels समझ आ जाएगा. Done.
Drum roll. So this is literally what we call as a tramp stamp. It has a name and a reputation.
And it always has to be a butterfly on your एकदम butterfly ही होना पड़ेगा.
Butterfly on your buttocks.
buttocks के तो थोड़ा ऊपर है ना.
Right above the buttocks. ठीक है.
Nice one. This is so. I'm sorry to my friend, but I have this friend of mine. She actually has karma यहाँ पे, हाँ, and I don't know why she got that tattoo done, but and वहाँ क्यों and why karma, but वो कपड़ों में ना सिर्फ माँ दिखता है. कर चुप जाता. There is only माँ.
Okay. There's a cute story also. There's a bunch of sort of school-going girls come with one mother. So the couple of kids sort of they walk into the studio, and we have a policy that we don't sort of make tattoos for. It's an unsaid policy in India, especially because it's not regulated. So anybody below 18, we don't tattoo. So if they're accompanied by their guardians, yes, I mean it's their parents' child. So who are we to judge? Anyway. These bunch of girls, they get different tattoos, and this the mother's daughter, she says that I want I forgot what the exact tattoo was, but it was for her mother only, because her mother, like, she was accompanying other girls as a guardian, where they had written consent from their parents and all, but this girl just says that on the spot that I want my tattoo for my mother, so that whenever I am going out with my friends and when I am in a situation where she's sort of angry with me, I just show it to her. Mom, I got a tattoo for you. Sweet story.
Yeah. So मैंने like I said ना, मैंने 2009 में I had gotten a tattoo done on my feet, and that was like the only tattoo जो मेरे parents ने allow किया था, like my dad. Parents means dad. तो उन्होंने allow किया था, and then afterwards I was not allowed to have any tattoos done. And the second tattoo that I did was trust in my middle finger. तो ये ना छुप जाता है. तो my dad never found out that I have this tattoo, because मतलब like I'm always like this and making sure.
It is surprisingly well.
There has been a lot of touch-ups on this.
Still.
Multiple level of touch-up and that trust a bit. I mean you can understand क्या कैसे वो क्या ही font है. कुछ लोगों को लगता है कि ये लस्ट है एंड पीपल आर लाइक तुमने मिडल फिंगर में लस्ट क्यों लिखवाया. सो दिस इज अनदर मेरी टैटू की स्टोरी. बट सो ये वाला ही कुडंट सी. फिर मेरा 4 साल का इंजीनियरिंग खत्म हो गया एंड आई वाज मूविंग बैक होम. सो माय पेरेंट्स केम टू पिक मी अप. दे केम रात में ड्राइव करके ऑल द वे एंड देन दे स्लेप्ट ऑफ. तो मैं भी सारा घर वर ठीक करके मैं भी सो गई रात में ड्राइंग रूम में. मैं ऐसे सो रही थी एंड आई गॉट अप एंड माय डैड इज सिटिंग ऐसे चेयर पे ऐसे करके ही इज लुकिंग एट मी एंड इज लाइक क्या टैटू करवाया वापस करवाया करके. बिकॉज तब तक मैंने आई हैड गॉटन बापूजी एंड मॉमसी फॉर माई पेरेंट्स. सो ही जस्ट सॉ मैं ऐसे सो रही थी उनको बस दिखा यहाँ पे कुछ है रीड नहीं कर पाया वट एवर एंड इज लाइक क्या टैटू. ही वाज सो पिस्ड एट मी. मैंने बोला था नहीं करना है समझ नथी आउ टू लाइक ही इज लाइक येलिंग एट मी. आई एम लाइक क्या है ये. मैंने बोला बापूजी मॉमसी. इट्स लाइक ओके चल चाय पीते हैं. ही फॉरगॉट. सारा उनका गुस्सा सब पानी गया तेल लेने. उसके पहले 5 मिनट ही स्कोल्डेड मी. कहीं समझ नहीं पड़ती. आई एम लाइक यू नो लाइक गुजराती ना वो पूरे उसमें भान नहीं पड़ती ये वो. आई एम लाइक ऑल हेवी वर्ड्स एंड देन इज लाइक ओके चलो चाय पीते हैं.
But for some reason, and sorry for all the people who got that particular tattoo, but there was a point where we were frustrated of that tattoo.
Mapa, my brother has it. I still laugh at him.
You got a nice little twist to it. It looks good. It's in a good font.
No, people think मैंने money क्यों लिखा है. People can't read Momsi. Also, Momsi is very मतलब unique in a way. हाँ, like money इतनी money minded है तू. Momsi है, but yeah, माँ पा. Oh my God, my brother has it. और मेरे भाई ने वही वो हिंदी में माँ, इंग्लिश में पा. एंड वो माँ में उसने लाल कलर करवाया है अंदर.
एंड देयर आर वेरिएशंस ऑफ इट. मतलब इट स्टार्टेड एट वन पॉइंट एंड नाउ टुवर्ड्स द एंड ऑफ इट. नाउ आई थिंक दिस इज द एंड ऑफ इट फॉर that particular tattoo because I have not done it in I think 1 or 2 years. I have not done that, but I have seen so many variations of it. Baapre, it's crazy.
हाँ I know. Like मेरे भाई ने भी वही like बहुत common है. मैंने बहुत देखा था. So he got that done, but then my mom got an A written. And after that my dad never complained. मतलब अभी तो बीवी ने करवा लिया ना तो अभी बच्चों को जो करवाना है करवाओ. So like me and my brother we are all tattooed up and he's like अब तो मैं कुछ बोल नहीं सकता. But my mom got an A done and I'm like वो A करवा के I'm like मम्मी ये A किसका है. So my mom's name is Ashwini, my dad's name is Anil. I'm like ये A किसका है. तो पापा का. Are you sure? and there is a butterfly. वो A के लाइन में ऐसे butterfly निकल रहा है.
Which brings me to another like last story that I will share. So this girl got I love you Shona written. And she was only very smart about it. She said Shona तो कोई भी हो सकता है.
Very thought and done. But yeah. But I just have one last question for you. Like I said मैंने बीच में बोला था कि tattoos in a way काफी ज़्यादा ना addictive हो जाता है. If you get one done करने का मन करता है. But based on your experience, why do you think people actually get a tattoo done? Like what is the motive behind people getting tattoos done? Is there some emotional reasoning to it? कि फिर it's just trend या वो ऐसे ही शौक या कैसे. I mean you would have heard a lot of stories, so you would be the right person.
It would be a combination of all those things. I think that it's a way of expressing yourself. It's a way of already sort of informing somebody who is a stranger to sort of get a glimpse of what you are basically. And it could be a conversation starter. You could just walk up to a person, say yeah that's a nice tattoo. And could be that, could be some people are they get addicted to the pain also. It's a different kind of pain. So I've heard that like some people would say अच्छा
therapeutic हो गया वो.
One comment was वो मीठा दर्द मुझे वापस दे दो. Somebody walked into the studio and this is not with me, this was with my mentor, but a girl walks in and It was funny. It was actually absolutely innocently funny, like almost innocently, because she said, "वो मीठा था मुझे वापस दे दो." So at some point there's that thing also, and yeah, well, you, like you said, you get one tattoo and you already have three others planned. So I mean, yeah, and if we sort of take it back, way back, tattoos were, they were religious also. You had religious reasons. You had reasons as a profession also. You would the warriors would get certain kind of tattoos. The goldsmiths would get some certain kind of tattoo. The sword makers and all of that. So it has a huge history. I don't know the deep psychological reasons. I do, like I do know some, in some bits and pieces I know, but they're just like that. You get one and you don't stop.
There may or may not be emotions involved with those tattoos. Always.
I mean, it's good if there are emotions involved, because few tattoos that I have, they have deep meaning, and I would just share one story. I have two swallows here, and I have a Viking compass. These two tattoos sort of represent something very deep and emotionally heavy in my life, because there was a point where I was completely lost. I would not say in what sense I was lost, but I was completely lost at one point, and that's when I sort of stepped out of that zone. That's where I sort of got these tattoos, and this one at one point. And my idea was to just sort of, as a reminder that I sailed through that troubled time. I have a Viking compass tattoo here. So Vikings used to put it on their ships as a way of not getting lost at the sea. So I saw that as a sea of thoughts in my head, and I got that tattoo, and I wanted it as a reminder to sort of get me back to the reality whenever I'm feeling lost. And that's also what swallows represent. When you're sailing in the oceans, and if you see a swallow in the air, swallows sort of stick to the land, stick closer to the land. So that's a sign that you are at a point where the land is close by and you are not lost anymore. So yeah, those are the kind of tattoos that I mean, if the logical reasoning, or if the tattoo means that much to you, obviously you want to sort of, you would never regret that tattoo ever in your life.
But I relate to it. मेरा भी ऐसा है. Like for me, it is like I want to have everything that is very close to me. क्योंकि आप जब मर जाओगे, आप पैसे और ये सब दौलत, धन दौलत तो लेके ऊपर नहीं जाओगे, but everything that is close and you know things that I love or mean a lot to me, at least they will always be there till like जब तक मैं राख नहीं हो ना. Like that is my thing. So I'm very particular about things that I get tattooed. But yes, this was fun. Thank you so much for sharing your experiences, these funny stories, and your wisdom. I really hope कि if there's somebody out there जिसको tattoo artist बनना है, they can learn from this and they can start their journey and घूम फिर के आपके पास आ सकते हैं कि गुरु मुझे सिखा दो. Maybe that happens, but yeah, I mean there's a lot of curiosity in सब चीज़ों में and लोगों को ज़्यादा पता नहीं होता है. So thank you so much for being that guide to people.
Thank you for giving me the space to talk about it. As much as I think I would, like I am camera shy, it didn't come out like that.
Cameras were out of it, yeah. But yeah, this was amazing. So thank you so much to everybody who's listening. If you ever want to get tattoo done, I am going to put Shobit's studio ka details in the description, and you should definitely come and get your tattoo done to him. मैंने बहुत सारे करवाए and I can vouch. He's an amazing artist. He's very creative and he has an amazing studio जहाँ पे he has projectors and stuff. So अगर आपको बात नहीं करनी, आप मूवी देखते अपना tattoo करवा सकते हो, but it would always
We have
be
that
fun.
option.
Yes. So yeah, we'll see you again in the next episode. Until then, bye bye.